Hello and welcome to Nikolai's genetics lessons, and today I have prepared two true-false questions for you, and here's the first question. Sex-limited inheritance refers to the traits that are located on the X or Y chromosome. Is it true or false? And actually this is false statement, because sex-limited inheritance refers to genes that reside on the autosomes. Autosomes are chromosomes all except X and Y chromosomes, that is, sex chromosomes. For example, sex-limited trait would be breastfeeding, and female genotype would be XX, and she might be, for example, capital B and capital B for breastfeeding, and she would have milk. Her genotype can be XX and capital B small b. She also would be breastfeeding, or her genotype can be, for example, XX and small b, and in this case she would have problem with breastfeeding. She would have very little milk, and male genotype can be, for example, XY and capital B, but still he wouldn't be able to produce milk, because this gene would be hypostatic, meaning that other genes would influence expression of this allele. And another variant would be XY and capital B small b, and still if we see that female would have milk and would be breastfeeding, male wouldn't be. Those genotype would be the same as of the female. And the last variant, XY and small b also wouldn't be breastfeeding. So as you see, this is sex-limited trait. And for example, there are also such traits that we call sex-influenced. For example, body hair. Both men and females has body hairs, but in males it more expressed. This trait is more expressed. For example, when males has genotype, for example, body hairs, so HH, so in females the same genotype, so this would be a lot of body hairs, and the same genotype in females would be moderately expressed. And if in male, for example, genotype capital H and small h would produce moderate rate of this body hair expression, in females this would be only to the very small extent expressed. And genotype, for example, small h would mean in males that this would be expressed to very small extent, and in females it wouldn't be expressed at all. So females wouldn't have body hair with this genotype. So as you see, sex-influenced traits are just such traits that can be influenced by the sex. So both sexes has this trait, but females may have it to the least extent. Another example can be muscles. Muscle develop in males to greater extent than in females. This is also would be sex-influenced trait. Yet another example would be baldness. In females, this trait also would be expressed to the much less extent. And one more time, both sex-limited and sex-influenced traits are not reside, these genes that code for these traits are not reside on the X or Y chromosome. They reside on the autosomal chromosomes. So this is false statement. And next question. For alleles that display incomplete dominance, the phenotypic ratio expected in F2 generation of the monohybrid cross would be the same as the genotypic ratio. Is it true or false? If you don't know what is the incomplete dominance or monohybrid cross, here is my explanation. Imagine that we have plants and plants have red, pink, and white colors of the flowers. So capital A stands for the red color and small a stands for the white color. And genotype can be, for example, of one parent, capital A, another one can be small a. So one parent would produce flowers that is red, another parent would produce flowers that is white. Now if we build a Punnett square, we can predict genotype and phenotype of the progeny, and this is going to be F1 generation, and this is going to be parental generation, so parent 1 and parent 2. And genotype here would be capital A, small a, capital A, small a, capital A, small a, and capital A, small a. And when we have incomplete dominance, that means that dominant allele A is incompletely dominant over the recessive allele A. And the color of the flowers in F1 generation going to be intermediate between red and white. So this is going to be pink. And as you see, 100% of the F1 generation going to have pink flowers. Now it is stated that we have to find what the ratio is going to be, phenotypic ratios in F2 generation. In order to find ratios in F2 generations, we have to take parents from F1 generation. So parent 1 would be, genotype would be capital A, small a, and parent 2 also would be of the same genotype, because there is only one variant in F1 generation, that is capital A, small a genotype. So both parents would make pink flowers, and when we cross two parents in F1 generation, we are going to get following ratios. So here we would have capital A, capital A, capital A, small a, capital A, small a, and small a, small a. And this is going to be F2 generation. In F2 generation, quarter of the plants would have red flowers, 2 out of 4, or 1/2, would have pink flowers, and 1/4 would have white flowers. So as you see, our ratios would be 1/4 to 1/2 to 1/4. And as you see, in incomplete dominance, genotype equals to phenotype. So phenotype here equals to genotype. And phenotypic and genotypic ratios are the same. So our answer would be answer A. It is true statement. And this is all for today. Thank you for your attention. Please subscribe for my new videos that I post almost every day. Thumbs up if you like this video. Please write your comments, questions if you have any. And see you in the next video. Goodbye.